My name is Lisa, and I'm an internal support coordinator with WEX FSM, and I wanted to welcome you all to today's session of Solution Studio. Today, we're going over building proposals and proposal comparisons. So, one of the things that we kind of wanted to go over is why to do these in the system. And there are several really good reasons to help your business grow and increase your bottom line by using proposals and proposal comparisons. So you're being able to present a proposal to your customer shows that you're a professional, and it gives them something tangible to look at and consider instead of just like throwing a number out there. Proposal comparisons show them that there can be more than just one option to stay cool or to heat or whatever you're selling at the time. And any system will keep them cool, but when you show them more options and the information about those systems, they can make an informed choice of what's right for them. So this kind of makes selling easy. Giving a customer a proposal allows them to line up all of the options in a proposal comparison. So they can see what features are on each one and decide what's most important to them that matches their pocketbook. So they can take a look and say, maybe I can take this one off of this one and afford this one. It may not be the lowest SEER if it's an air conditioner. Um, it may be an add-on that may change the pricing enough for them to decide to go ahead with it. And statistics show that customers, when they're presented with several options, they're more likely to choose the middle option than the lowest price-based model presented. So this will increase your revenue just by giving them several options. And if you only offer the base system, you could be leaving money on the table. Proposals and proposal comparisons in conjunction with our financing partners can help increase revenue as the monthly payment may be only a few dollars more on the higher price system. So let's take a look in our system. Okay. So in our system, we have several things that can help you set things up globally. But we're going to start with a proposal on a job first and how to create one. So if we come into this customer and this customer's job, I have several proposals that are in here because once you create several proposals, you can make these into a proposal comparison. So I have a good, better, best here. So let's take a look at one of those. And so when you create a proposal, you can go ahead and add items and everything just like in your price book. So you can hit add item, you can add a custom line item, you can add an item, and you can go to your price book folder. And if for some reason the item that you're creating is not in there, you can create the new product on the fly. So there's no wasted effort. You add it to your job form, your proposal, and you add it to your price book at the same time so you can use it again. Okay. And when you have a proposal, you can add a featured image. And when you click featured image, you have the option of coming from an image library where you would upload these. Or if you go to your price book and you add a product image here, that will show under images from price book. Okay, so the item that I added did not have an image, and that's why it's not showing here. So I chose to choose one from my image library that I uploaded. Okay, and the nice thing when you're thinking about this and thinking about creating proposals and proposal comparisons, I can't say that word right now, but you want to make everything look the same. So if you're going to put a featured image on one, you should put an image on all three if you're doing good, better, best, so that the customer gets a good visual across the board of what they're looking at. And each line item should be lined up the same with any recommendations below. So we have our build mode and we have our present mode. So this is what our present mode looks like, and that's where that big old Amana condenser is on here. They can see the financing option that I offered on here. They can see my warranties, my contractor warranties, my contract terms, everything on here. Okay, but this is just one. So let's go back to the job. Anything red in the system you can click on. And let's see what the difference it looks like with a proposal comparison. So I used these three to create the proposal comparison. Okay, this is the build view as well. And you can come in and let's say you choose the three proposals that you want to use and they're not in the right order. You can use the arrows to move them back and forth to get them in the right position. You can come in and name them good, better, and best. There's the pictures lined up across, my products, my recommendations, my manufacturer warranties. So the customer can just go run their finger across and see the difference between all of them. They can see which partners for financing that I'm offering. And up in the present view, it will show my good, better, best, and that monthly payment that so many people purchase by. So this one is only $20 more than this one, and it increases your revenue by almost $2,000 just by showing them the options. So how do we go about getting this set up? So if we go into user management, let's see. Bear with me for just a second. My system's catching up on the other side and must be having an internet connection. So bear with me for just a second. Okay. On the users, you are going to have the option and just make sure that if they are an office person or if there's somebody that needs to see the reporting, that they're setting up for the reporting tab visibilities so that they can monitor the proposals and see what's coming in and what's getting signed. They also have copies of job forms and payment receipts. So if they create a proposal for a customer and this is set to none, they will not get a notification when that customer signs a proposal. So they should at least have this user on theirs if you want them to see those. So that's one of the items in the setup that you want to make sure that you can do. Okay. And under jobs, job preferences. These are some global settings that you can come in here and set before you start all of these. If you want to show the location on the job form, the billing address on the job form, model number, product number, show unit prices, line item quantity, savings, these are all on here so that you can set them globally. Because on this job form, if I go back to the beginning, up under the pricing settings, this is where you can change those. You can do the standard price, maintenance plan price, show or hide the maintenance plan price. Remember that line item quantity and prices, you can show them or hide them, and the unit prices you can hide. So that's what this does globally. If you set these to on globally, they will automatically show up on the job forms that way when you create them. So if you don't want to change these every time, so line item quantity and prices, if you want to put hide on here, and if I hit update, the build view still looks the same, but the present view will only show the line item and the total price. So if you don't want people to nickel and dime you and say, okay, I don't want to pay this for that. We've even had people they sent the proposal and they decided that they thought the condenser was a recommendation. They really didn't need it. So they've tried to move it down on the job form because they didn't want to pay that extra money. So this will help if you just want them to see the total system that you're selling them and then put your recommendations further down on the bottom. That way they won't be looking at saying, okay, the air handler is this much, the condenser is this much. You can kind of make it a flat rate for them without having it in the price book as flat rate. So if you decide to do it that way, you can as well. Okay. So when you come down on the bottom, there's a place to recommend items. So if you have your whole system, what you're going to sell them, and you decide that you want to put some options on there, like a UV light or something like that, you could add the recommendation on here. Let's see if we've got anything in here for UV. Nope, let's go filter cabinet. Okay, I'm going to put this one on there as a recommendation. And when you add it as a recommendation, there's a thumbs up. So if the customer decides they want to have this, they can say, hit the thumbs up, and it can go up and be added as a line item, and then it will figure the rest of this. If they don't want it, they can put it for future work or they can decline it. If they do future work, then you're going to have to look at the recommendations report to make sure that you've captured this for a future time. If they decline it, it'll stay down here, but it's a little button. It moves it up and down, and up here, once it's added, it's an arrow to go down. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to save and close this. So let's say you've created your proposal and you have it all nice and you sell it to somebody and they you're getting ready to invoice it. So you would come over to this and you would convert it to an invoice. Okay. If you want to send it to them, there's two options. This is a blind send and this is the PDF. And you can also look at the PDF. Looks just like our other invoice job forms. Okay. When you hit send proposal, you have the option to add more users that it's going to go to, more customers, if it's their email and their text, or if maybe husband and wife. Could be if you're doing with a business, it may be the representative and the business. You can add a personalized message to each one of these that says, thank you for allowing us to do business with you, or we look forward to the opportunity to do business with you. Anything that you normally would like to say to your customers, you can add that here. You can add any attachments. So if you have any brochures that you want to add, you can add that. You can also view it again here. And also, if you're dealing with an elderly person, you may want to make the text larger so that they can read it a little bit better. And when you send the proposal, this little wheel here will tell you when it was sent. And if you click on it, you'll see how many times it was sent. Right now, it's not made it through the system yet. So you have a way to track these. Okay. Now, if they purchase it and they sign it, it's going to change from presented to signed, and you'll be able to see that here. You'll be able to see that if you go to the proposals report. You'll be able to see that here as well, what status it is in. Now, one of the things about proposals and sales opportunities, there is only one sales opportunity per job. So even if you noticed on here, there's 3 different proposals and a proposal comparison, this is still only one opportunity. So when you are figuring your win-loss, this is considered one opportunity, even though there's multiple ones on here. And that's what figures the sales opportunities and opportunities that are won during this. The status will be presented until they sign it. It'll be signed or declined, and you'll have that in here as well. We also have under jobs, we have a proposal list. So if you're new to the system, we have under the jobs tab, we have lists for pretty much everything. So we've got a proposal list and a proposal comparison list. And we also have under reporting the proposals as well. So the proposal list has a little less functionality. It is basically just a list, whereas the proposal report will figure your close rate for you. You can sort by date range, proposal status, and download everything. So you can also go by tech to see how each of your techs is doing, or your salesperson, or an estimator, whatever you have in your company, since it's company specific. Okay. So again, we had on the user that if this is signed, that somebody needs to be able to get copies of these. So if the person is not going to be getting their own, then an admin person or an office person should be getting copies of everything. So the person that gets their own may not follow up, but if the office or the admin is watching those, they can make sure that they get followed up on. So there is usually someone in the system, let me go back over to here, that is usually an admin that would get copies of all users so that that way they can manage those and keep track. Once they're signed, you can make sure that you order the equipment. So someone needs to be monitoring these other than just the person who offers it to them. Okay. So we've got also several reports that you can follow up on these at globally. The job summary report is a really good report because it will tell you the number of signed proposals, and you'll be able to see if it has been converted to an invoice. So anything in red, you can click on the system. So if you hit the number, it's going to bring up none, and there are none during this time. So let's go back a little bit further and see if anybody was playing with one that was a little bit further out. Okay, so this one had 2 signed proposals and it had 2 invoices. Okay, still only one opportunity on that job. This may be progress billing, not sure. But we can go ahead and see this one as a one-to-one relationship. And anyone that has a signed proposal that does not have an invoice, you might want to take a second look. Could be you haven't done the job yet, so you haven't billed it out yet. You haven't gone to that proposal and converted it to an invoice yet, or it may be waiting and somebody hasn't billed it out yet. So this could be money that you're missing if this has been completed, if this job has been completed but not billed yet. Okay. So the other thing that I wanted to show you on this is when you convert this to an invoice, depending on how you take payment, we also have this option in the system to do the total proposed amount as a percentage. So if you're doing progress billing or manually by line item. So you have several options on how to bill your customer. If you're doing new construction and you want to do a percentage at 10% for rough in, and then some for trim out, and then some for final, you can do that as well. So you have several options, or you can convert it the total amount. Okay, so now we have this proposal comparison that we have in here as well. We've offered it to a gentleman and he's purchased it. Well, his neighbor says, hey, I like what you did with him. Can I get the same deal? And presumably the neighbor's already told the new other neighbor what they sold it for. If there's something different in there, you can let them know that there might be a difference in the um, cost due to the way their house is set up. But sometimes if they're in the same subdivision, it could be a cookie cutter in and out, and you may want to offer them the same deal. You can come in and hit copy and then go find any favorite that you have already created for this install, and it will assign it to the new customer with the same features on it and line items as the other one. Or you can unclick this and go look for it by proposal number, customer name, location, any other way that you would like to do it. And the really nice thing about this is when you start doing this, you can do it from proposal comparisons and proposals and pull it. The other thing is when you get down to invoices, and you start copying from invoices, a lot of people don't realize that you can copy from proposals and go straight to an invoice. So if you had the proposal on another one and they didn't want to sign the proposal, or you just wanted to bill somebody the same amount that you had on a proposal, you have the option from proposals as well. So you keeps you from having to rebuild things, but you just need to remember that you can copy an invoice from an invoice or an invoice from a proposal. So you have options. And just remember that when you come in the first, it's always going to default to favorites. And don't worry, the rest of them are there as well. Okay, just have to unclick that box. Okay, the other one is the job summary by appointment report. Gives you a little bit more information. It was built later on using Tableau. Takes a little bit to load sometimes, especially when you're on a Zoom. And this is a test account, so sometimes people put things in there that keep things from loading. My favorite one is the ants emoji, that there was ants in the condenser and it wouldn't let anything load. So we had to go back and find that. So this is taking a little bit of time to load while we're on here. And let's see if I had it open. Nope, that's a summary. It's still going to give me a few minutes. There we go. Okay, so you can view by job, you can view by appointment, and several more filters. You have the option for the invoice tech and the appointment tech, and making sure that all your flags are followed up. It is a little bit formatted a little bit differently, so you have to use this little one to get over to the right-hand side to get all the information, because it does have quite a bit of information on here. Again, the signed proposal count, the total, invoice count. So if this is off, if there is a proposal here and there's no invoice, either you haven't done it yet or you need to bill it out. Okay, it tells you the appointment tech and the invoice tech on here as well. Download is always through crosstab, and you would choose Excel and job by appointment and just download it that way. You also have the option to do a PDF. Okay. And let's see if there's anything else. Serialized equipment. That's one of the other things that I wanted to go over with you. So in your price book, you have the option as well to add a product image here. You also have the option, we also have the pricing strategies down here. So if you want to turn them on or off, but the other one is the serialized item. So if this is a serialized item, what this means is when it's added to a job form and the customer pays for it and signs the invoice, this piece of equipment is automatically going to be added to the customer's equipment tab so that you don't have to add it there manually. So that's basically a really nice feature, especially for the office person who's keeping track of whenever you have a new install or a hot water heater or a mini split that has a serial number. You would not want to use this for smaller items. We had a company use it for elbows and turn it on for elbows because they were trying to build out everything on their materials list, and they decided that turn this on, and they had 27 elbows on that job. So 27 elbows went to the customer's equipment tab. So you just need to use good judgment with this and use it for only larger pieces of equipment that you really need to keep track of that serial number for warranty work. Okay. So when you add, let's see if I had that on here. You've got one that's, because I want to show you what it looks like on here. Okay, yes, this one is the 2-ton 15 SEER heat pump was serialized in the price book. And so when you add it to the job form, it adds this extra field down here. If I put the model number and manufacturer on that price book item, that would show up here as well. The manufacturer warranty is showing here, so that when the installers go out, sometimes when you go out, you don't have the serial number until you open the box, you know? So it may be delivered to the job site and you may not know it yet. So when they open up that box, they can open up this, if it's on the invoice, and add the serial number in here. And then when the invoice is signed and paid, this these three pieces of equipment will go over to the customer's equipment tab. Let me show you over here. It'll come over here. Okay. And then that way you don't have to manually add it again. The one thing I will tell you is if you create the invoice and you don't do the install on the date that the invoice is done, you may want to come in here and double check to make sure that the install date is correct. Because if you create the invoice a month ahead of time, it's going to have a different date here than the date that you actually did it. So always come back in and check the install date. If you create it the day that you're going out, and you'll be fine. But if some people convert that proposal to an invoice right away, it may be 2 weeks before that they go out and do that. So you'd want to check that as well. The other thing that we have in our system is the Pricebook Digital. It's an offering that we offer in our system. Some companies' distributors do not participate. So you would have to check to see if you're with your distributor to see if they do participate. And what they do is they reach out to your distributor and they would bring in your equipment matches and create proposals and proposal comparisons for you. So let me show you what one of these looks like. We load it as a customer that is the name of the distributor who's participating. Okay, on this customer, you're going to see the different items, the different matches that they send through Pricebook Digital. Okay, so all of these different ones. So let's look at furnace. So they put these proposals in with these matches. They create them, they add them, they they bring in the price from your distributor with your markup, everything, and they look like they're imported because they do bring these in, and it has the pricing. Everything is set up for you, and the proposal comparisons are set up for that type of system. So you can go in and heart the ones that you want to use. And let's say that you get it imported and you need to update anything in your price book. You can come to more applications, data center, and you can go set up my price book digital registration, update my price book digital settings. So they can do this in bulk for you, update your registration. If you want to bring in, let's say you don't want to do Pricebook Digital or your distributor does not participate in this with us, you can reach out to them and get an Excel spreadsheet of all the equipment that you've purchased, say, in the last couple of years, because the usually the distributor catalog is, if you printed it out, what's well over like an inch thick. And you may never ever buy all of the things in there. And so you may just want to get the things that you purchased in the last couple of years in an Excel spreadsheet. It has to be a flat file, none of the pictures in it, so that shows the condenser with every match known to man on it. If that picture is in there, they can't import it. So it has to be a flat file. And you can submit a new price book upload using that sheet from your supplier, or you can submit a supplier catalog upload if you want to use it for purchase orders. You can use the form for either one. Okay. If you need a bulk price book update, you can do that as well here. Okay. So you have options as far as your price book and price book digital here to go ahead and get these started and updated. And so we've got all of those different ones in here. They also live in your price book here. So all the ones that they load in from Pricebook Digital live in here as well. So you can have proposals that they created for you, and you can create ones on the fly using all of the same equipment. They bring in quite a bit. Okay. I think that's about it as far as proposals and proposal comparisons go. Did you have any questions today?
I did have a quick question on the image library. I saw that you had an image library. Is there a place I can go to load images, or do I do it on a case by case?
So you can go into like a test customer and just upload all of the ones that you want in there. Um, Most heat pumps, if they're the lower SEER, all look the same with the air handler. So you could get clip art from your distributor and go back in and let me go show you and go into just one job and upload them all there. Maybe on the example customer. So if I go back in here, it's on that financing. And so you would have stock photos that you would add. The only place that you can add them is either on the price book product so that they show up there, or if you're not using those, by adding it to the image library here by going upload and just kind of going into one and putting in any that you might use. And it is cumulative. So if you go in and you add one here, it will be there next time as well. So you don't have to go and add it on everyone for different customers. It will show up here as well. So some people have some stock ones that they pop in here that they, because usually a water heater looks like a water heater for the most part.
Yeah.
They would go in and add one in here and use that every time. And then maybe a 15 SEER, 21 SEER system because they look just a little bit different. Um, and then they could use those every time. But you can get those from your distributor usually. They're very good with clip art.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, that helps out. Yeah, I've got a test one that I'll probably start loading a few. I know I've got like side discharge and yeah, different kinds.
Okay,
But that's very helpful. I appreciate that.
you're welcome. Anything else today that you're thinking about?
How about I saw that yours says best, better,
Good, better, best.
good, better, best.
Mhm.
Yeah, mine just says option
Yes. Let me
one,
show you how to
option
do that.
two. How do I change that?
Okay, so if I came in and I created, I'm going to hit a new proposal comparison and I'm going to go in here because mine on the other one has already changed. I'm just going to choose three different ones and you could go up to eight. So I like good, better, best. I was raised on good, better, best. So that's what I do. And because when you give people too many choices, sometimes it's not a good thing. But some
Yeah,
people like to give them every choice. So this is what you're seeing. Option one,
yeah.
it's a field. And then
Oh,
just hit.
okay.
So this this is one of the few places where build view really looks like build view. Okay. And see, I've got 64, 52, and 59. I may want this to be my best. Some people like to put the highest one first, and some people like to put the highest one last. I've heard both schools of thought, but you just take this and you move it. Now it goes to the middle, you move it to the right, and now I've got 52, 59, 64. Okay. I
Okay.
can do this one. Good, better, and best. This one was the only one that has a featured image from the ones that I chose, but it looks pretty lined up. There's a little bit more here. That's why I like to put things almost in the same order on the proposals. See how the manufacturer's here. These were created by different people in here. So the manufacturer's here, there's none here, and there's none here. So I like with like, so somebody can take their finger and just run right across and see what they're looking for. If you're going to do the recommendations on each one, do the recommendations on each one so that it lines up and it looks pretty. Because when you go to present, we've got good, better, best. We've got my pricing per month, depending on which ones, and see how it goes. Horizontal, recommendations, warranty. This is the only one, so we've got a lot of white space here because we didn't choose it on the other ones. This one doesn't have a contractor warranty, but then you can go from here. It does hold its place a little bit, but see how this goes down further and there's gaps. So if you're going to recommend the Honeywell filter, recommend it on all of them unless it's part of maybe what you're offering and maybe it's why it's higher. It could be. But try to line them up as easy as even as you can. It looks better, more professional when you're presenting them. And then the build, like I said, this is really one of the few things when it says build because there's little arrows and little X's and things like in here. And if, like you said, with the option one, option two, if you don't start clicking around on things, you wouldn't know it was there.
Yeah, yeah, and that's what I didn't do. I when you were doing the presentation right now, I went onto one I already created,
Hmm.
and it wasn't letting me change it because I already presented it, I think.
As long as you're in the build, yeah, you what happens, I believe, when you update something that's already been presented, it goes back to open draft and you may have to re-present it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, at least I know that I can make those changes when
Hmm.
I'm building it.
Yep. Hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect.
Anything
That's
else that you
very
can think of?
helpful. No, I think that does it. I just needed to get a few extra things for comparisons, and the image thing is going to help. I
Mhm.
don't like not having an image.
Yes, yes, it's always good, especially when somebody's putting out $6,400 for them to have a little bit that they can see. But you can also, on those proposals, remember that you can also add if you have like a brochure. Sometimes they have a one sheet brochure that you can add to. And I wanted to show you, while I've got you, let me go back over there on that proposal. There is, it groups pictures. So if it's on a proposal that you are showing them pictures of maybe the things that need to be fixed or changed, you can come in here and you can hit, where is it? Attachments. So you come in, you upload, and you choose a file. And I don't even know what I have in this for pictures. I got a bunch of pictures of me. Okay, let's go in here and go to screenshots. I'm just gonna put a warning in here and upload that. Um, so what you can do is you can move these. So if you have like a sheet about your company, that maybe you want them to see about you first before you hit them with the money, you could upload that sheet for the about your company, how long you've been in business, very pretty cover sheet, and then move it in front of the proposal. But once you start adding images, multiple images in here, they stay grouped in one area here. So if you click to manage the images, they'll all be lined up in here and they will show collectively in this one slot. You can't put part of them here and part of them there. So if you're going to put like pictures of before or your justification for why it needs to be changed now, sometimes for a repair, you could put those in there and then probably leave those pictures behind the proposal.
Oh, that's a really good idea.
Hmm.
Okay. Okay. I guess since you're on that and you're talking about multiple, uh, up top where we load the image, if I'm changing out or I'm writing a proposal for a AC or a heat pump and a furnace, I can't do two images in one. Is that correct?
No, so you may want to do two proposals. So if are they going to be like for the same house?
Yeah, so I had one of them where they wanted a proposal for both the AC and the furnace because both of them are older and they
Hmm.
just wanted to remodel, redo the whole AC and furnace
Okay.
swap out.
So I don't know if it can only have one image. So I don't know how you might want to manipulate that so that you can have them see both. I don't think there's any way other than to go find two stock images and take a screenshot, maybe merge them or something. So and then take a screen. Have you ever used the snip and
Oh, yes, that's
the
one of my
snip feature?
favorite
Yes, the
tools.
snip the
Yeah.
snip feature. And then take the picture, bring both of them up and take a picture of it and download it. And then maybe you could do it that way to get them both on there.
Okay. Yeah, that was my other thing. I just some programs don't allow like the JPEG
Hmm.
or the PNG, or I see that that one does.
Hmm.
But yeah, it would just be trial and error, I guess. And then
So
I can just put the sheets down below, as you mentioned.
yeah, so if we go file, see, um, I think it's JPEGs and PNGs that they offer on this one. So you can do both
Okay.
of them. Okay. The other thing on proposals that I forgot to tell you was and invoices, we have a custom field here. So if you're doing work for a government or somebody who gives you a PO, you can put that PO number here so they can see it on the form. Usually it's on the invoices, and sometimes on the proposal you just want a name like mother-in-law unit or something like that. Um, you can, it's just a custom field that you can have that shows up for them. And especially doing commercial work on invoices, they like to see it at the top. They don't like to go searching down through the notes and things like that when you present it to a municipality to get paid. They like to see that up at the top with all the other information. So just wanted to mention that that field was there as well.
Okay, that's for them to see.
Yes. So yeah. So if you did this, if I went in and I went EO, let's see, it's 26, 26. The year's 26, 1, 2, 3, 4. Save. Okay. So if I present this, it is for PO or work order, or let's say if you were doing an estimate and it had an estimate number, a plans review number or something, you could always put that in there.
Got it.
It's just an extra field
Okay.
so that they know. Invoices, it's usually a PO number for when you're getting paid. For when you're doing a bid, it could be a bid number on the proposal.
Okay. That would have been I should have looked at that and see what that did because I had a customer that wanted two different brands, a Mitsubishi and a Daikin.
Hmm.
So I could have probably used that in there to do the proposals
Hmm.
so that they can identify this one's a proposal for the Mitsubishi brand and this one's a proposal for the Daikin brand.
Hmm. Yes.
Yeah, but that's good to know. I'll use that. I appreciate that.
Hmm. And I believe that this field does sync to QuickBooks. So if you decide
Okay.
that you are going to be using QuickBooks, then that field does sync to QuickBooks. You have
All
to have the
right.
template in, your invoice template with that field, but it does sync. Anything else you can think of?
No. I had two quick questions and you turned it into a lot of great information. I appreciate that.
No problem. I just like when people are asking questions, it's like, okay, you're jogging my memory. Okay, I forgot to mention that, and then wow, this is how you can use it. So it 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 really kind of helps spur me on. So be careful the questions you ask because I tend to go on a little bit sometimes.
Oh no, I like that. I like that because there's things that I will think of, but
Hmm.
then other things that like right now what you added on,
Hmm.
that just makes it more custom and it helps me make it look more professional too.
Yes. And the other nice thing is if you're doing by job time, it shows up here. So if you need to know the time that like if after somebody goes in and does work to see how much appointment time, tech time is on there, it shows on here as well. So every time they clock in and out of that job. So if you have to bill by time, that's there as well.
Oh, nice. Okay. That's also good to know.
Okay.
All right. No,
Um,
thank you. Thank you. That's
oh,
great stuff.
and we also have one other feature while I'm out looking up here. You can choose a bill to customer. So let's say this is work done at Jack Dawson's house, and I want to go to Foghorn. I can bill this to Foghorn Leghorn because he is the one who's managing the property at Jack Dawson's. So this bill would show up on Foghorn Leghorn as their balance due, but the history will show on Jack Dawson of what was done without a bill.
Okay.
So that's the other thing. It's nice. So it's like, okay, you have quite a few options on how to bill as well.
Does that mean that I can change it? Like initially, if I get contact from one person that I've never worked with before, and then they tell me that they actually work for or they're under somebody else, like a completely different customer, that I can bill it to them.
So let's say, like
It doesn't have to be.
if you
Go
do
ahead.
work for like American Home Shield,
Hmm.
you may have an American Home Shield customer, but you want to keep Jack Dawson's information separate of what he did. So the history is on Jack Dawson, not under American Home Shield under a location for Jack Dawson. You could put all the information on Jack Dawson and then bill it to American Home Shield, and the bill would show on American Home Shield. Does that kind of
Yeah, yeah,
clear it up?
yeah. Yes.
And then that way, if Jack Dawson reaches out to you directly instead of American Home Shield, they say, okay, we're going to keep repairing this unit till it dies. We're going to keep repairing it. And the guy goes, heck with this. I'm going to reach out to you guys because you guys have worked with me. You guys are the ones that have serviced it through American Home Shield and get an estimate on what it would be to just change this thing out because they're never going to change it out. They're always going to try to repair it. You're over it. Then you could go in and still have your standalone customer there.
Awesome. That is good to know.
Okie dokie.
Because those situations do happen.
Yes, yes. I mean, we had one where it was a condo where I think Verizon or somebody came through and was doing some kind of line work up on the roof, and they had to move the condensers for everybody. So we had all the condenser change out information on each individual customer and then billed Verizon.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And then that way, customer calls in, they say that condenser up on the roof is not working, then we can look at it and say, okay, they didn't pay for this. Verizon did. And so if they replaced it and it's not working, it's like, okay, now we have to have that discussion on who's responsible, right?
Yeah.
But that the thing that I like about it is the actual customer history stays on the customer, even though they're not paying the bill.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that definitely makes sense. And I like that feature.
Okay. Well, if you don't have any more questions, I'm going to let you go. We've been at it for about 50 minutes now, so I know you're probably got to get back to work.
Yeah. Yeah. No, well, I'm going to use all this information because I got to build a comparison. So this is great. I
Okay.
appreciate your time.
Oh, you're most welcome. Stop back in and visit me anytime.
You got it. You have a great rest of your day. Have a great week.
You too. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.